The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds worth of sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for this March the 1st, 2023. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped.com and Manscaped.ca. Use promo code 1420skate at manscaped.com today. They came out with some new products today. I'll get to that. Maybe we'll talk about that on tomorrow night's show. Don't have time here in the morning. Thank you for making us a part of your morning each and every day here on Facebook Live. We're going to be here from here on in every morning, maybe get it up on YouTube as well. But anyways, thank you for making us part of your morning. Like I said, baseball's back, baby. I can't be more excited for what's been going on. Lots of baseball games going on throughout the day. I like the way that they're playing spring training games. They don't mean a whole bunch to anybody at all. There actually could be too many games when it all comes down to it. The preseason is a bit long, a bit lengthy, but they do it to sell tickets and everything else. We all know why the owners have teams. They do it to make money. That's what we all do all our stuff for every day. We come out and we slave through the grindstone and we slave through whatever we do to make money. And owners of Major League Baseball are no different. Anyways, the rule changes obviously were at the forefront of everybody's mind coming into this preseason. What was going to happen with the shift, with the larger bases, the whole bit, but the pitch clock is the one that has caught everybody's eye. There's been a lot of discussion about the pitch clock and how it's been working so far. I, for one, have been I was a bit leery about it at first because I kind of am an old traditionalist, old guy, get off my lawn kind of a guy when it comes to the game of baseball. Too used to it not having a time based on it for how long. There was never a clock on the game of baseball. You just played till you couldn't play anymore until the lights came on. You kept playing and whatever. It didn't much matter. And you didn't know if you're going to be there for 2 hours or 2.5 hours or 4 hours or whatever it may be, or watching a game on TV. And it was kind of the great thing about the game is that you had to get 3 outs per inning, and it didn't matter. This is what the time frame was. You still got to get the 3 outs. I understand that. But the thing is about baseball, that was one of the great things about it. You didn't have the time on it, and it made it a that's what made it its own unique beast. The pitch clock so far, I think it's been somewhat successful. They do have some kinks to work out. Obviously, there is some things that it does seem that the batters are a little bit rushed. Maybe it's because it is early in the spring, and there are guys that aren't used to it at all. The minor league guys who had it last year, they seem to be going okay. But I was watching a Jays game yesterday, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he had to realize he jumped back in the box, and he got in there, and he got the at-bat going, but he realized that, hey, I can't take the time I want after a foul ball like it used to be, and you 2 feet out of the box and have to be 1 foot in the box, and a lot of rules go into these guys, but a lot of pitchers are liking it. I don't know if anybody saw the Max Scherzer. I think he pitched on Sunday with the Mets, and man, he's been a beast to begin with, no matter what. But he got done. He has the pitch tracker on it, or not pitch tracker, but the calling the pitches on his glove now, and he's telling the catcher what he's throwing. And he had this one poor kid up to bat, and it was good morning, good afternoon, and good night. It was done that quick. He had a strikeout done in 27 seconds. So that was a bit alarming, because you look at a guy like Scherzer, how dominant he's been over the years, and how he's been able to be the guy who he's been in strikeouts with everything going. And he had a kid out in 27 seconds. Like that used to be one pitch not that long ago, like 1 year ago, one pitch. Or Nomar Garciaparra, how long did he take to get back in the batter's box? I mean, it's a long time ago. It's crazy to think that Nomar that he played a long time ago, but Scherzer was a dominant guy. And so that's a little bit alarming in the fact that people complain about how many strikeouts there are and how much little action that there may be. Yes, they got rid of the shift, and they're trying to increase the pace of play and everything else to get more action. But maybe with this pitch clock and the pitchers being able to dominate the way they are, because they were dominating at a pretty high pace no matter what, and now it's going to be a situation where it could be a lot worse for batters, because if you have a guy like Scherzer going up there and just dominating like that and being able to bing, bing, bang, bing, bang, boom, see you later, you're done, and that might tend to have more strikeouts and everything else. And like I said, another thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is that the game of baseball has a pace and a tempo to it, and especially when you get to the late innings, and maybe not in a game in June, it doesn't much matter when you got the Kansas City Royals playing the pick a team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? Where a game doesn't matter a whole bunch. It matters to somebody. Obviously, somebody, whenever you go to a game, you want your team to win and you're excited and the anticipation comes through you. But there is a situation all the time where you have guys that maybe just get a little bit worried and a little bit scared about what's going on, and they're a little bit scared to get in the box, or this nervous anticipation for a base hit in a big moment, and all of a sudden when that moment is rushed away from you because you have a situation where you got to get in the box and you can't take a deep breath and take it all in and see the sights and sounds and everything else, you don't really know what the whole thing is going to be. And the anticipation of baseball was one thing that makes it great. You look back at the Dennis Eckersley versus Kirk Gibson home run. You look at the Joe Carter home run against Mitch Wild Thing Williams back in the '93 World Series, and those moments are etched in stone. The Jeter home run against Byung Hung Kim, the Brocious home run, like those moments are etched in stone in a World Series moment, and you remember those, and maybe they didn't take as long as our memories think, but it was something that it seemed like you would be chewing on your fingernails or biting on your knuckles and pacing back and forth or watching the game a bit more, and it would be a bit more of a anticipation for a pitch. And I hope that part of baseball doesn't go away, because as fans, that's why you watch it, for those big moments, and you want that you're to have that moment, and you want to remember that moment for a long time, and you don't want the game to be rushed away from you. You're getting the same amount of baseball, don't get me wrong. There's still 27 outs per side, and sometimes 24 because they hit the bottom of the ninth, but you're still getting the same amount of baseball. You're getting less dead air for the viewer, which I totally understand. So you're getting the same amount of baseball, but you have a situation where the moment might get lost with these rule changes. And when the moment gets lost, that's when you lose something, and that's when you might lose fans, because you're not having a situation where players are seeing things their way, and you're not getting a chance to take it all in. And that's one of the great things that's always been about baseball. It's an odd thing because everybody wants things to be faster and get it over and done with, but you always remember the moments that happened, and the pretense of the moments, and then the post moments, and all of it, and how at bats can go on forever. You think, like, I don't want to. It's always about the Yankees, it seems, but that Jeter at bat in the 11th inning when he became Mr. October, that at bat went on forever. I know he was in the box, and was he in the box and out of the box? I don't remember, but the timestamp was there, right? So the pitch clock rules are great for the game to move along and not to have dead air, but I think it's going to hurt the spirit of the game a little bit, and pitchers do have a bigger advantage now. But you might get more hitters later on. Let's not say all hitters are bad. You might get some hitters who get out there and because they get in their own way between their own ears, and they might get to a situation where it's see ball, hit ball, right? And don't think so much about everything else because they don't have time to overthink things. So it's early in the pitch clock era of baseball, so you might have a situation where it's going to get better. The players are going to understand that it is a little bit better, and they are going to figure it all out, because it's only a weekend, and the pitchers have had they can work a little bit on different things, and they can say, okay, do this, do that, and they can control the narrative of the game, like Scherzer said, because he did control the narrative of that game the other night. It was something to watch, man. It was crazy what was going on there. Like I said, he had 5 strikeouts in 2 innings, and so that tells you exactly how he's worked on his game a little bit. Yes, they're minor league guys, and it's a little bit different. So we'll see how once spring training rolls around and how it's going, see how this plays out and how the first month of the season goes. You're going to see a lot of fan interest. I think it's going to pick up a little bit. You're not getting less baseball purists, you're getting less dead air. It's the same amount of time. It's the same amount of outs, no matter what. That's not changing. The base thing, stolen bases are up a little bit. I don't know if it's because stolen bases or bases are bigger, but you are getting some more stolen bases and everything else. So it is interesting that maybe the rules are working, and it's like I said, it's a weekend, and you don't know how it's all going to turn out and how it's all going to phase out. I just hope that there's not a World Series champion decided with one out in the or 2 out in the 9th inning. You expect a big moment, and all of a sudden it's strike 3 because the guy wasn't in the box quick enough. I think the players would have it figured out by that moment, where they wouldn't be calling a guy out then, and they'll figure to be in the box and say that this was on me. But I hope the umpires, wouldn't call a guy out in that situation, but I guess they would have to because that's the rules. It's going to be a slippery slope come September, October when the playoff races heat up. But by that point, hopefully the players have it figured out. But players aren't that smart. Anyways, there's my rant for the day. Thank you guys for listening. And umpires yesterday. It was Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I think it was the umpire. They were supposed to go to the bottom of the ninth. The game was over, but the players wanted to play out the last half of the game just to get their at bats and get some pitches. The umpires left the field anyways. Bad luck. Bad luck. I know the game didn't mean anything at that point. The game's over at spring training. Bad luck, umpires. Stay out there for 3 more outs. Where were you going? You got a game to do today anyways. Bad luck, umpires. A really bad luck on the umpires. I don't know. Just my thoughts for the day. Anyways, there it is. Anyways, on this day in sports history, in 1969, Mickey Mantle was forced to retire from a series of bad knees and everything else that happened with the Mick. He was forced into retirement. Mick, 18-year career, all with the New York Yankees, hit 536 career home runs, 1,509 RBIs for a .298 batting average, 3 MVPs, and 7-time seven-time World Series champion. I'm struggling a little bit here with this new video thing, but anyways, we'll keep working through it. Mickey Mantle forced to retire on this day in 1969. And happy birthday to the man, the myth, the legend, Harry Caray, born on this day in 1914. Hall of Fame broadcaster Harry Caray with Chicago Cubs. Obviously, Caray was the White Sox announcer before joining the Cubs. He's also credited with singing "Take Me Out the Ball Game" between at the 7th inning stretch. He's the guy who brought that along. As sure as God brings green apples or whatever it was, Harry Caray has a statue outside of Wrigley Field across from a bar called Murphy's, I believe. I've been there a few times. Great spot. It's something to see. But anyways, Harry Caray's credited with saying, as sure as God grew green apples or made green apples, the Cubs will win the World Series someday. They ended up winning the World Series in 2016. So here, congratulations to the Cubs fans and to have Harry Caray. Happy birthday to him. He's one of the great characters of baseball, and he's man, what a character he was. There's no getting around that with old Harry Caray singing. He was always a few Budweisers deep while he was doing a game up and at Wrigley Field. Sometimes he would actually go out into the bleachers when the Cubs were having some really tough seasons. Anyways, tried this thing this morning. Didn't do as good as I could have. Obviously, it didn't work out as well as I had with the video. I got to get some help with this, but we're giving it a shot. We'll try to keep it going here 14:20 in the morning. I just need a little bit of help on the production side of things, or just where to hit things and try to read this and that. But no, it went okay. We get the gist of it. It'll be up on YouTube later on, and the likes. Make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel, and then make sure you guys listen to our podcast throughout the day. We got a lot of stuff going on. Also, right now, I'm going to play a little clip from the interview I had with a great guy from Philadelphia today, Steve Reichel. He joined me last week to do join our Major League Baseball tour. Here's Steve, and thank you guys for listening. And remember, it doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with.
It is evolved to the point. The fact that we're sitting here talking about Pete Rose not being in the Hall of Fame for this is utterly sickening. It's almost as ugly as them sitting there holding these freaking baseball players out for steroids when they were freaking complicit in it.
Yeah.
The MLB was 100% complicit in it. Oh, this is what we need to save baseball. Juice it to the gills, guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. They found out about it. Oh, we have to bury these guys. So guys like McGuire, like Palmeiro, like Sosa, like Bonds. You're trying to tell me these guys weren't Hall of Famers before that?
Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are two of the best baseball players of all time.
You're out of your mind.
It's ridiculous to me. This old boys club and old rules and everything else.
Right now, Major League Baseball Hall of Fame is the biggest joke in pro sports.
100%.
There should be absolutely no one outside of baseball veterans voting for who's supposed to be in or out. The fact that you still have writers involved in that is sickening, disgusting, and it needs to be taken care of.
Because writers, you have writers, a lot of writers. I'm glad you got on that. And we'll end it here. But how writers? There's some that don't even put a guy on. They submit empty ballots. Then why have a vote, man? Like why? Like
if you're gonna have an empty ballot, take him off. He's out. No one should ever. There should never be a Hall of Fame class that has less than a handful of people. There's too many guys, past, present, and let's even throw Negro League in there because that has to be done too, which is done on a regular basis now anyways. The fact that you don't have 5 inductees each year is sickening. Whoever's not voting, not putting people on their ballots, get them the frick out.
How do players get better? Like, this is good. Like, how do players end up getting better? If you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer in year 1 when you're eligible. Put in 10. Like, just put them all. You don't get better over time. In fact, people lose their memories, and the guys actually get worse. So how a guy becomes a Hall of Famer in year 10?
Really
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.